ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर इदासे करुणा कोरी। ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर इदासे करुणा कोरी। दिया पद छाया सोदो हे आमाया तुम्हारा चरण धोरी। छाया बेगा दोमी छाया दो स्वासोधी छाया गुणा देहो दासे। छाया बेगा दोमी छाया दो स्वासोधी छाया सत्संगा देहो हे आमारे बोसेछि संगेर आसे। छाया सत्संगा देहो हे आमारे बोसेछि संगेर आसे। एकाकी आमार नहीं पाया बल हरिनाम संकीर्तने। एकाकी आमार नहीं पाया बल हरिनाम संकीर्तने। तुमी कृपा कोरी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देहो कृष्ण नाम धने। तुमी कृपा कोरी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देहो कृष्ण नाम धने। कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्णा जीते पार तुम्हारा सकती आछे। कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्णा जीते पार तुम्हारा सकती आछे। आमी तो कंगाल कृष्णा कृष्णा बोले धाय तब पाछे पाछे। आमी तो कंगाल कृष्णा कृष्णा बोले धाय तब पाछे पाछे। ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर इदासे करुणा कोरी। ओ हे वैष्णव दयार सागर इदासे करुणा कोरी। ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर जय 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 वैष्णव जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की जय। श्री महाप्रभु की जय। श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय। So we'll have next is the Bhagavatam class. So we'll have the chairs and this whoever and also the seats. So we'll go for the Bhagavatam class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. You will please. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for this Saturday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Good morning everyone. So all of you can take your seat, whatever make you comfortable. There are behind chairs. If that makes comfortable, please don't hesitate to sit in those chairs. So we'll start with the very beautiful song, Jaya Radha Madhava. This is a song that Srila Prabhupada used to sing before each Bhagavatam class. So we are continuing that legacy that Prabhupada has given us among so many millions of things, this beautiful song, which actually describe the spiritual world. So let's just sing. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Pijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So we'll do Mangalacharan prayers. Mangalacharan is bringing auspiciousness to our talk and to also remembering our previous teachers. So we'll go for the Mangalacharan verses. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nitai namine che namirhate shraddha mulye nam dite che re. Nitai namene che namirhate shraddha mulye nam dite che re. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Tadarajastamo Bhava Kamalobhadayaschaye Chetayete Rana Vidham Sthitam Sattve Prasidati. Sarvasasтрabdhi Piyusha Sarvavedeka Satfala Sarvasiddhantaratnadhya Sarvaloke Kadrikpada Sarvabhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabho Kalidvantaditaditya Sri Krishna Parivartita Parmananda Pathaya Premavarsaksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostume Madeka Bandhu Mad Sangin Mad Guru Mad Mahadhana Mad Nistaraka Mad Bhagya Madananda Namostume Asadu Sadhuta Dain Atinicha Uchato Kara Hana Muncha Kadachin Mam Premna Hit Kantayos Fura. Hare Krishna. So before starting, I like to offer obeisances to my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I will try to repeat his words and the words of the scriptures that has been given to us painlessly by the disciplic succession. And primarily today we are will read, first we'll start from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, some verse, and then we'll continue. And also I'd like to thank every one of you here for being present. Hare Krishna. Without that, this class is incomplete, and also all those who have joined online. So we'll start with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in the morning I was describing that we're all performing a devotional service of bhakti, and devotional service is like we are doing practice now, and then the practice involves certain activities. And so Srila Rup Goswami Pad, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he has given us the activity that brings us close to Krishna, and they are 64 in number. So it can be a very daunting task to see 64. Wow, it's a big number. But many of the things we are already doing here when we come to temple. So he has then boiled down to 5 main activities, and so we will just briefly go through that verses. If Madhuri, can you please put Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22nd chapter, verse number 128. Is there some? Yeah. Madhya Leela 128, verse number 22nd. So this is a samvad between Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatan Goswami, and he's giving the especially this 22nd chapter is a devotional service. He gives a lot of nice instructions about devotional service, and in between this verse comes, which says Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Sravan Mathuravasa Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. If we go to translation, one should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura, and worship the deity with faith and veneration. So this is the, if you see, these are the 5 activity that has been given as the, where we can focus our mind. And there are so many other processes and everything, but these are the 5 main where we can give our focus. And if you see here, like in this morning, how Adinath Krishna Prabhu was describing that how these are, we are, when we come here, actually we are doing, like we chanted Hare Krishna, and we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we are going to hear Bhagavatam. Reside at Mathura is a place in India which is considered the birthplace of Lord Sri Krishna. And so it's very, very holy place, and definitely we should all try to visit that place whenever we get chance. But also it's the expansion of that Mathura is this temples, or this or the devotees when they leave their home, that is considered the expansion of the temple, because they where they worship Krishna. So but very particularly this says like we should go and reside at Mathura, we should go and visit once in a year and worship the deity with faith and veneration. So we have very beautiful and charming deity here. You can see here Sri Radha Madhava, Sri Mahaprabhu, Lakshmi Narasimhadev with such a beautiful garland. You can see that is the world's best garland here with the devotees made, and we have Srila Prabhupada here in the right side, deity form. So these are the 5 practice that is the important. And Madhi, can we go to the next verse? Next verse of this 129. Sakala sadhana shreshta ei pancha anga Krishna prema janmai pancheralpa sanga. Translation: these 5 limbs of devotional service are the best of all. Even a slight performance of these 5 awakens love for Krishna. So, as I was telling this, even a slight performance, like all of us has 24 hours, and sometimes it can be a daunting task to fit everything in our schedule. But at least a minute or 5 minutes or something, or regular schedule like a weekly basis, if we can try to fit this in our schedule, and slowly it grows from there. That okay, how we can, or like I told, like some of like Mathura was going to the Dham, it may not be like every day we can, but at least once in a year, once in a 5 year, or something that we can fit in our schedule. But other things are like chanting Hare Krishna. Many of us are doing that practice in the home, and chanting certain number of rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading Bhagavatam. We have the book Bhagavatam is thanks to the technology now, we even in the websites available, we can read Bhagavatam, associate Bhagavatam. We can come this kind of gatherings. We have 3 times a week a class, 2 times in physical presence, like in one Saturday morning and Sunday evening in ISKCON of Silicon Valley, and DT's service. So when we come here and then see that DTs are getting worshipped, Aarti and everything, so that is also worshipping the DTs. And also we can take part in many menial services, just cleaning the temple, cleaning the utensils in the kitchen. This all are part of deity worship. Actually, this extension of the deity worship is considered. So the 5th one, association. So this particular class, I am going to focus on the aspect, the association. So association, sadhu sangha. So that's what we'll dwell into. And one particular verse I thought today. This was brought to by His Holiness Vaisheshika Maharaj, read many years back in one of our Saturday class. Is from Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Has anyone aware of this book, Brihad Bhagavatamrita? Some of you are aware about this Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So the Brihad Bhagavatamrita is written by Sri Sanatana Goswami, and this is considered the like post sequel of Bhagavatam. When the Bhagavatam was spoken, so Bhagavatam was spoken by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, and then after Parikshit Maharaj goes and talk with his mother Uttara, and she asks, "Can you tell me in the summary what you heard in last 7 days?" And then Parikshit Maharaj doesn't have much time because the snake bird has going to come and kill him. But then in the summary, he gives the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and Srila Prabhupada notes that if anyone wants to know about Krishna, devotees, devotional service, this is the book that he encourages us to read. And Bhaktivedanta Book Trust has published this book long back, and by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada disciple, His Grace Gopi Prandhan Prabhu and his and other editors. And so we will go to that verse, because that verse I found that it's like a it's like many of the it says the association, and then lot of verses it quotes from the Bhagavatam directly. So Madhu, if you can I display from the my. So here, yeah, so is this okay? Is some things are cutting in the. We're not able to. Okay, it's my is this one. Yes, perfect. So this is from the third volume, 7th chapter, verse number 14, and I'll just read. Mahat sangamam mahatmyam eve tat paramadbhutam kritartho yena vipraso sadhyo adbhut tat swarupavat. So this verse actually is spoken by Parikshit Maharaj, and there is a two major hero of this book. One is the Narad Muni. He travels all the different planetary system to find out who is the greatest devotee, and the second section is the Gop Kumar story, where he is going to different realm and finding out which is the supreme place. And in that story, it comes the story of a Mathura Brahman and his teacher Sarup. And Sarup actually. So basically, we don't have much time, but in the summary, Sarup blessed, by the blessings of his spiritual teacher Sarup, the Mathura Brahman get the highest blessing of realizing Krishna and his form. So Parikshit Maharaj is just exclaiming that how it is possible that from an ordinary person to get such a highest blessing. So he's just exclaiming, and then he tells this verse, how it is possible that this ordinary Brahman got the highest blessing of getting the association of Krishna and his devotees and the understanding Krishna's realm. So such are the most amazing glories of the contact with a great saint. By that contact, this Brahmana suddenly achieved perfection, realizing his eternal identity. So his Parikshit Maharaj is saying about that verse, about that person. Commentary. Usually only the Lord's most qualified devotees attain pure love of God after long endeavor for the Lord's special mercy. How then could this Brahman have achieved prema so quickly? Only by coming into contact with a powerful saint, this Brahmanas, only by coming into, thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Only by contact with the powerful saint, the Brahmana's own effort alone would have been no avail. His success was possible by the unique glories of Vaishnava association, incomprehensible to the material mind. So this translation actually has been, so Srila Sanatana Goswami, who has written Bhagavatam, he has also given his commentary on this Sanskrit text. So His Grace Gopi Prandhan Prabhu has actually quoted that this commentary is also from the Srila Sanatana Goswami, but he kind of paraphrased in a English language so that we can understand. The actual original Sanskrit commentary is not, is little terse in, and may not be, so he has kind of given this in English and easy to, so he has paraphrased many things, but much of these are from Srila Sanatana Goswami's actual work, the commentary, even the commentary even. So we will see now, as I was telling, that how it is possible, and then Parikshit Maharaj is saying it is only by the Vaishnavas association, and then we'll see the various verses he quotes. In Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.55, Sri Devhuti remarks, Sango ya samsmiter hetur asata asatsu vihito dhiya sa eva sadhu sukrito nihasangatavya kalpate. Association to gratify the sense is certainly the path of bondage, but the same type of association performed with a saintly person leads to the path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. So let's read the next one. Can someone read if they can? If anyone want to read? Yeah, Lizzie, thank you.
When an ignorant person mixes with other degraded persons, the result is entanglement in material existence, in the enjoyment of food, drink, sex, and so on. But the company of pure souls, even if entered into with the same ignorance, enables one to become nisanaga, free in two ways, detached from matter and uplifted to pure love of God. Prema is a form of detachment because it shuns all pursuits other than the attempt to please the personality of Godhead. Therefore, as stated in the Yuga Vasada Ranamanaya.
Thank you, Dizzy. So it's so nice. Thank you. So it's you can see that even ignorantly, like somehow, and Prabhupada often compares like this question has been asked multiple times to him, that how can we quickly advance in Krishna consciousness? Like it's been always in the mind of those who are the aspirant devotee and those who are trying to develop in their Krishna consciousness or bhakti. They ask this always question that, okay, how can I quickly achieve, quickly I can go through? And his answer would be always that you take the association of devotees. And he gives the example of a drunkard. Like he says that how a drunkard become like drunkard, right? It started with someone who asked him, or by whose association he started drinking one pack or whatever, and then slowly it kind of it gets into him, and then he becomes like a professional whatever a drunkard. So similarly, or even smoking, I know from my college days, like I used to see that during my bachelor's, when I entered the college, most of us are like from a very good backgrounds, like protected nicely from the family. But I see in the first year and the first year, like before beginning of the year, there's no one has any bad habits or smoking or whatever has been mentioned in this. But at the end of the first year, I see that like 90% or 95 start doing this, and I don't know, wow, what happened? Like till 20 years or 19 years of age, nothing happened, and what happened in just few months that everything got changed. And then the only the thing that I could realize, the association, and then how it was, the association was so powerful that that whatever the values someone was carrying, it just goes, and because this association and association is so, and that's what in the enjoyment of food, drink, sex, and so on. And in this verse has been pointed, even ignorantly, like these persons, they didn't came to college, like my friends, I remember, to go for all these things, but just by the association of some people. Again, it's not like all the people were clean. There might be some people those already doing, and then they kind of made other people also do the same thing. So I was remembering this and then recollecting my great fortune in my life, that at the same time there some teachers used to come from the ISKCON Pune to our college where I was studying in bachelor's. It was 17 years back. So and they used to conduct classes, Discover Yourself. That was the first class that I attended, I remember. So I could feel that, oh wow, there's something more than this, all these things that all people are doing. And I started attending, and still I'm a student, but I'm just saying that how ignorantly I also went to the association of devotees, that okay, let me try to do something, like try to learn something good. And so this contrast, both the verses, so both the things it contrast, like how you can go ignorantly to the bad association, and also you can go to the good association. In both the way you get. And there's a one famous verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that says the progress. I'm sure you might have heard about this. Adav Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Tatho Bhajan Kriyata Nivritti Syat. So it says like how it starts from Shraddha or faith. And then from faith we get the Sadhu Sangha or the association of devotees. And then the Bhajan Kriya and everything starts. So let's go into the this series of verses. So Yog Vasishtha Ramayana. So we can skip the Sanskrit because there are a lot of verses in this. So in interest of time, so someone else can read if you like to read. Yeah, please, Vicky.
In all circumstances, one should approach saintly persons. Even if one receives no teachings, spontaneous dialogue with them imparts valuable lessons. When one approaches persons who have real knowledge, emptiness overflows with fullness, death becomes immortal nectar, and disasters can seem like good fortune.
Wow. So this verse from the Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana is it says that even if receives no teaching apparently, but spontaneous dialogue with them can impart us valuable lessons. Can anyone think from their life this verse that they feel that just by spontaneous dialogues or something? Anyone want to share in this assembly, please? It's like a discussion, so it's not just monologues talk. I like every one of you to be also encouraged to share. You're all also devotees and have experience in your life. So yes, Kennedy Mataji. So please share so that it becomes like more discussion and we all learn from each other.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I remember my first time staying at an ashram down in Los Angeles. I had this run-in with someone that had left me in tears.
Wow.
And it led to, they have like Srila Prabhupada's garden there. And I remember turning around and there was Guru Ma. And just having that interaction with her and having her come in, it made the entire thing that had hurt feel so blissful because it had led to that moment. And then it subsequently made the rest of the experience even better because I had this quote unquote low that had, in a way you dig a hole and then suddenly you realize you found a wellspring of nectar and then the whole experience ends up flooding because of it. It's amazing.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, you can see that experience comes, and thank you, Kennedy Mataji, that I could totally relate, and that reminds me of one pastime of Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada used to take generally his disciples for the morning walks, and like always it was like, crowded to get near the Srila Prabhupada because not everyone can get near. So one of the Prabhupada disciple trying to get very close to Prabhupada, like walk behind him so that he can hear what Prabhupada is saying and everything. And then what happened, like they're all walking and suddenly Prabhupada stops. And then he just turned around. And this devotee was just in the front of Prabhupada. And he told that moment was like whole earth shaken up. Like he thought that I was so close to Prabhupada, but I felt I am so far in my own realization, just having that closeness and that realizing that how much insignificant he is, and in comparison to what Prabhupada is. So that kind of sometime spontaneous dialogue in this, he was saying that even though we don't receive teaching, but sometime that impressions of the saintly people imparts in our mind that impressions that from many lifetime we are also having the other samskars that can overcome by this samskars of being associating with devotees. And the similar point when you are saying, Kennedy Mataji, even I remember when many years back, around decade, we had happened to go to this Los Angeles temple, and there's a Prabhupada's quarter is still there. If any one of you go to Los Angeles, in the temple in the top, there is a Prabhupada quarter where Prabhupada used to live. So they have maintained that room as it is, like all the artifacts, his table, his desk, and everything. So I remember, so Maharaj was his Holiness Vaisheshika Maharaj, he was going up above the stairs, and so the door was closed. The door was not open. So then we are all sitting down in the stairs, like a stairs that takes up to the room. So we are all sitting down, and then I just asked Maharaj what he's thinking. I'm always impudent and I keep asking Maharaj. So he told that he's thinking that what I have offered to my spiritual master, I'm coming to meet him. He had that personal feeling with that meeting at that his spiritual master. He told that what I'm going to go and offer him. In his thought, he was thinking about that, and so I was just thinking that wow, it's just being there and getting that bhav that okay, when we approach a spiritual master, he may not be physically present, but that is there, that the intensity or that desire can be always there. That what I'm trying to please him, what I'm trying to bring him, or what is my emotion. So it's not just that I'm just walking into the door and so that even I remember that thing. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
approach in the same context when Devahuti approaches Kapila after a couple of chapters. So Kapila Deva starts speaking about who is a sadhu actually. So he says, he describes who is a sadhu first, and then he also talks about one of the verses there is Satam prasangat mama virya sammido bhavanti vrutkarna rasayana kataha tattoshanadi apavarka vartmasu shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. So what actually happens when you associate with a sadhu? He speaks about the mama virya sammido means he speaks about the greatness of basically the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we hear that, right, Shraddha, Rati, Bhakti, so basically it includes all the stages of, 3 stages are mentioned, but it includes all the 9 stages. So they gradually develop in the heart of the hearer.
Great. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, actually we'll come that verse also in this translation. You'll find all the verses in the has been quoted in this purport. So let's continue. Thank you so much, everyone. So we'll continue more. In Srimad Bhagavatam 3.7.19, Sri Vidura said, Yat sevaya bhagavata kutasthya madhudvisha ratiraso bhavet tivra padayor vyasanardanaha. Yeah, if anyone want to read the translation.
By serving the feet of the spiritual master, one develops transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon and whose service vanquishes one's material distresses.
Yeah, please continue.
Vidur here speaks to his Shiksha Guru, Maitreya Muni. By serving Maitreya, Vidur expects to obtain the service of the Supreme Lord, who is difficult to understand but whom one can approach by serving his pure devotees. The Supreme Person is Kutastha, which means both unchanging and inconceivable. He is also Kutastha in the sense that he is famous for being offered Annakuta, a mountain of food, while standing on a special peak, that of Govardhan. At the lotus feet of Krishna, the enemy of the demon Madhu, a sincere servant of the Vaishnavas can obtain Rati Ras, a never-ending festival of prema, from which comes an enjoyment so intense, Tivra, that nothing can impede or interrupt it. Material existence is full of various miseries, but devotional service at Lord Krishna's lotus feet, Padayo, eradicates them all, Vayasa Ardanaha. Or if we take Padayo to modify Vayasa Ardanaha, the meaning of the 2 words together is that which destroys the pain felt by the feet. Krishna's Rasa Leela is mostly a festival of dancing, and dancing means moving the feet. By entering the Rasa dance, one's feet will be relieved of the distress they feel from doing other things.
Yep, it's amazing. It's a little esoteric words, but you can. The last line I really like. By entering the rasa dance, one's feet will be relieved of the distress they feel from doing other things. So when we're in the Krishna's pastime. But how does it start and begin is what this verse says, like by serving the feet of the spiritual master, one develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead. So it starts with the serving the spiritual master, and then it goes further. And here's the verse, the next verse that Prabhu. Yeah, please, you can, why not you read?
As Sri Kapila Deva tells his mother, Satam prasangan mama virya samvidho bhavanti hrutkarna rasayana kataha tatjoshanadasu apavarga vatmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating knowledge of the Lord's activities, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter one is freed and one's attraction becomes fixed. The real devotion and devotional service begin. Bhagavatam 3:25-25. Here Lord Kapila Deva mentions 3 symptoms of the gradual development of prema: firm conviction, Shraddha, love for the Lord, Rati, and unswerving dedication to the service, Bhakti. In the course of devotional advancement, Each of these symptoms become manifest naturally, without separate endeavor. Lord Kapilideva does not intend to say that the sequence of development is literally Shraddha, then Rati, and then Bhakti. Rather, we should understand that first a new devotee acquires faith, Shraddha, then takes up the process of Bhakti by hearing, chanting, and serving, and later achieves Rati. Because Bhakti means both the practice of the devotional service and the mature stage of spontaneous love, to say that Rati, Prema, is the fruit of Bhakti is correct.
Yep, this is that's you're just quoting, right? And so this says like how the association of devotees, we get Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, and the point has been clarified that Rati and Bhakti, how is the like Bhakti means also is the practice and also is the mature stage. So it's literally is the all the three are the gradual development of prema, and it's not like literally in the same sequence. It has to be, or it can be. So this is what this verse says. Anyone has any? So let's just continue. Next. Chuck. Sorry, 1 minute. Yeah. Yep. Here.
Sorry. With the same concept of bhakti in mind, Sri Duva prays to Lord Vishnu. I'm going to butcher the Sanskrit, so I'll skip over.
So no worries. We can we can read that.
Okay. O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By the process of devotional service, surely I will be able to cross the nascent ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are eternally existent.
Thank you. Wow, so you can just dwell. Actually, each of the verses can be like a whole. You can go for hours and hours. These are the like topmost verses that Sri Sanatana Goswami is bringing out in the association of devotees. And this particular verse has been told by Dhruva Maharaj when he prays to Lord Vishnu with this, and then you can see what his desire is. His desire is just to associate with great devotee who engages in your transcendental loving service constantly. And how he compares is such a poetic. If you see, he's compared that waves of the river. Like whenever we see some river, so we can also think that whenever we see the river, we can think that how the waves of the river flowing. Similarly, that's what like how the devotees are engaged in the service of Krishna, and they are constantly serving, and that's what he wanted, the association. So what he's saying, that you see the river and that is what like flowing. Similarly, the devotees are always constantly serving, like how river is always flowing. Similarly, devotees are always serving, and I want to associate, I want to serve that kind of devotees, or I want to associate with that devotee. Such a nice, beautiful analogy has given. So, so we can like, this is the great poetries. They are not ordinary poetries. You can see that in so deep meanings. About, is anyone else remember anything else related to the river or flowing or something? Any thing that you remembered from the other text? Yes, Prabhu.
This is from the prayers of
Hare Krishna. Someone is online?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, Hari Bol. Maybe I can. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think Tvaimi Ananya Vishayamatir Madhupate Sakrit Ratim Udvantagat Gange Odam Udannati. I think Kunti Devi's prayers, she mentions that let my attention flow towards you as Ganga's flows toward the oceans.
Jai, Bal Mukund Prabhu, Hari Bol. So yeah, so he says that like how the Ganges flows toward the sea, or like any river, if you see, they are just flowing toward the sea. Let my attraction also be constantly flow towards you. Gange Vaugha Mudanvati. Thank you. That's an amazing verse from the Kunti Maharani's prayer in the first canto, 8th chapter, verse number 42, I believe so. So thank you. Anyone else remember anything from the river or flowing? Reminded of them?
From the second chapter of Bhagavatam 1 to 7, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radhokshaje Ahetuki Ya Pratihata Yaya Atmasu Prasidati. So there it is saying uninterrupted and uninterrupted service and causeless service gives the highest satisfaction. So the river flowing constantly is like uninterrupted bhakti.
Wow, yeah, that also you can recollect whenever you see that uninterrupted bhakti flowing through. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Anything else?
I was also about to say the same words that Balamukund Prabhu was sharing. But,
Great.
in Bhagavad Gita also there is this
Yes.
river and ocean analogy comes.
Where?
In that context, the material desires are apuryaman machala pratishtam.
Yeah, sing. Boldly.
Their material desires are compared to the flow of river. And the person who is self-satisfied, who is sthita prajna, I think, so he is not disturbed by the incessant flow of material desires.
Correct. Yeah, it's 270, right? Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudramapa pravisanti yadvat tadvat yad kamayam pravisanti sarve na santi mapnoti kama kami. So very beautiful verse in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita where it compares like how when the seas, like rivers flows towards the sea, the sea doesn't get the change. Right, sea's level is same. It's not that you are seeing that okay now Santa Cruz has gone deluged in the no, the sea has maintained its level. Similarly, he says that like it's not that when we advance in bhakti, the material desire doesn't come. It keep entering, but you don't get affected by that. It's not that material desire will not come or the previous impression will not daunt or bring to us in our mind, but it will not affect us. So that's what this verse says, that it will keep coming, but then we are like that sea, like our consciousness is so calm that we are not getting agitated by that all flows of the thing. That's good. Thank you. That was nice. Any other words? There are a lot of verses. So let's in the scriptures and that's a beautiful thing, analogy that they says many times, so that we can meditate whenever, because we all see sea sometime, we see river sometime, and we see all the different natural elements, and then these elements can remind us of Krishna, and if we connect them to these verses, we can become Krishna conscious anywhere and everywhere by this kind of things. Thank you. So let's go ahead. Because, yeah, anyone next who has not read till now? Yeah, Kennedy, you want to read?
Because the devotees of Vishnu serve him constantly, bhakti. Would you highlight it by chance? Is that all right?
Sure, thank you.
Oh, much better, thank you. Bhakti Muksha. I'm going to skip the Sanskrit. It's hard to see the italics.
Sure.
Their hearts are completely pure, and for that reason they are exalted souls. The association of such Vaishnavas is extremely desirable. One who achieves it need not bother aspiring for the fourth goal of life, liberation, for liberation comes automatically as a byproduct of pure devotion. Dhruva anticipates that in the company of Vaishnavas, he will drink the nectar of topics about the Supreme Lord, which will intoxicate him and empower him to cross effortlessly the dangerous ocean of samsara. Drunkards are mainly interested in the taste of their liquor. They have only a superficial interest in the secondary effects of alcohol, such as its ability to ease the discomfort of cold weather. In the same way, devotees who have a taste for drinking the nectar of Bhagavad Bhakti consider relishing that elixir forever their principal goal. They accept liberation and other secondary benefits only when such boons do not obstruct that eternal delight.
Yeah. If you see, this verse is so deep meaning, and what amazing purport Sanatana Goswami and says that how those who are drunkard, they just take care of the taste of the alcohol. They don't care that whatever the other side effects, whether it helps me to get away the cold and everything. Similarly, those who are bhakti, they are just considered, they don't care about the other goals like liberation and everything. They're just so happy, they're so satisfied in just serving the Lord and be in that association. And that's why the scripture says that how iha yasya hare dase karmana manasa gira nikhilasu apavasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. It's not that we have to wait for the life after this life to become liberated. Even in this life, even when we are going through our normal day-to-day activity, if we give our karmana manasa gira, by our activity, by our mind and by our speech, if we are dedicated to God and His service, then we are liberated even in this life, while going through this life. It's not that only at the death you are getting liberated. And this verse says the similar thing, that how you even in this you can just be happy, and that's what even Bhagavad Gita points in the 6th chapter, that you are happy for no reason. Always, sometimes people are happy for some reason, X, Y, Z, but when you evolve in your Krishna consciousness, you are just happy without any reason, because you are in the Brahma Bhuta stage, or you are in that stage of happiness which is beyond this material world, beyond this material things that provides us. So thank you, Kennedy. So next verse. In Srimad Bhagavatam 4:24, 57 to 58, Lord Shiva gives this opinion. Krishna Chanedhenapi tulaye na swargam na punardhanam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutasisa. So I'll also skip the next verse. But next, if someone like to read.
If one by chance associates with a devotee, even for a fraction of a moment, one is no longer subject to attraction by the results of karma or jnana. What interest then can he have in the benedictions of the demigods, who are subject to the laws of birth and death? My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things, and the destroyer of all the contamination of sin. I therefore beg your Lordship to bless me with the association of your devotees, who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet, and who are so merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees.
Wow. So we can ask so many benedictions, right? Dhanam Dehi, Janam Dehi, Vidya Dehi. Like this, all people are after dhana, means wealth, prestige, education, whatnot. Or maybe latest iPhone 16, 15, or whatever, like Tesla's latest model. Let me get everything. But what Lord Shiva is saying here, what he's asking for? Yeah, the last line. I think that your real benediction will be allow me to associate with such devotees. And which are such devotees? Who no longer to attracts by, who are completely like, who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet, and who are merciful upon the conditioned souls. So these are the devotees like Srila Prabhupada. You can see one of such great example. He was merciful to all the conditioned soul of all over the world. He created this center, ISKCON, specifically so that this knowledge can be disseminated for many, many generations to come, and everyone can get access to the spiritual knowledge. So that was his mercy upon all the conditioned soul like myself, that he taken on him to come and to share this knowledge and write this knowledge in a form that I can understand and learn. So that is the real benediction, will be allow me to associate with such devotees. That's what is the real benediction. And so this is Sanatana Goswami saying that how it is a real benediction. And actually he's paraphrasing this verse from Lord Shiva. So this is amazing. You can see that what is the real desire should be to desire and associate with such devotees. So let's read next one.
Rather than liberation, what to speak of royal power and other kinds of success that ordinary people value? Lord Shiva would prefer even a moment's association with those who keep company with the personality of Godhead. In other words, the company of Supreme Lord's devotees dances on the heads of all other goals of life. The lotus feet of Supreme Lord, who killed the demon Agha, remove all sin. The Lord's fame is the source of all holy tirthas, including the river Ganga and also the river Yamuna, whose bathing ghatas the gopis approach to fetch water. Lord Shiva takes 2 purifying baths, one externally in Ganga and other internally in the Yamuna. Similarly, a bath in Supreme Lord's fame purifies his devotees in two ways: externally by absolving them from hellish punishment, and internally by cleansing their hearts of desires for material enjoyment. Persons dedicated to the fame of Supreme Lord unto his lotus feet are merciful to all creatures. Such devotees always live purely, devoid of lust and other contaminations of heart, and they have simplicity and all other exemplary qualities. Lord Shiva prays that Lord Vishnu's greatest mercy on him would be simply to let him come in touch with the Supreme Lord's devotees.
Thank you. What's your name?
Ram Vilas Das.
Ram Vilas Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So you can see that it's amazing, and how much he's saying chana chana. It's like just moment. It's not asking like it's just a moment of association is saying, and just by moment of association, and that's what this verse says. And actually the same verse, actually they are quoted 3 times in Bhagavatam, and exactly that's like maybe one word different. If you search this verse, Chane na swargam na punardhavam bhagavad sangi sangasya martyanam ki mutasisa, like what is the greatest blessing of the person, mortal person to have the association of this. This is quoted 3 times in 3 different contexts. In the first canto, 19th chapter, and then 4th canto, 24th chapter, and again 4th canto, I think 29th or 30th chapter. It's quoted 3 times in the similar kind of context. So you can see that how much association of devotee has been emphasized in the Bhagavatam. So let's go to the 5th canto now. Yeah. Next one, who would like to?
Oh, can I read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Madhu, can I see who is the online, and if that is possible?
Oh, this is
Oh,
Padilla.
No, actually I was. Okay, no worries. I can hear his Tadiya Prabhu's voice can heard even like he doesn't need the he's our dearmost devotee. Yes, Prabhu. Tadiya Prabhu.
So, in the 5th canto, 5th canto, 12th chapter, verse number 12 to 13, Srila Jada Bharata speaks likewise. Rahu Ganai tat tapasa na yati nachejaya nirupanad gruhadva nachandasaha naiva jalagni suryair vina mahatpadar rajo abhishekam. My dear Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of the great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, by strictly following the rules and regulations of householder life, by leaving home as a vanaprastha, or by accepting sannyasa, or by undergoing severe penances in winter, by keeping oneself submerged in water, or in summer, by surrounding oneself by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is revealed only to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. Should I continue, Prabhu? Stop it.
Yeah, maybe we can stop. Thank you so much, Tadi Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, so you can see that even in the 5th canto, there's a great story between the Jad Bharat and the King Rahugan. And he was the king, and then he was like in his own pride and everything. And then at last, actually, he realized after when he started hearing from Jad Bharat how much enlightened he was. And then at last, his Jad Bharat speaks that how we have to smear the dust of the lotus feet of great devotee until unless we can't understand and realize the absolute truth. And the next one, who are the pure devotee mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotee, there is no questions of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotee, there is a discussion only of the qualities, forms, and pastime of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised and worshipped with full attention. in the association of pure devotees by constantly hearing such topics respectfully. Even a person who wants to merge into the existence of absolute truth abandon this idea and gradually become attached to the service of Vasudeva. So that's what is now what happened in the discussion of the thing, devotee. In the assembly of devotee. Next one.
In the verse just before the two quoted here, Jadabharat identified the absolute truth as Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, and as Vasudeva, the darling of Vasudeva. Now he tells King Raghugana that this supreme person is impossible to achieve by any of the usual methods of spiritual advancement unless, along with other methods, one bathes in the dust from the feet of pure Vaishnavas. It is not enough to follow the prescribed duties of one's varna and ashrama, concentrate one's mind in one-pointed tapas, execute Vedic sacrifices, distribute food and other charity, work piously as a householder, study the Vedas, or worship water, fire, the other elements of nature and their presiding deities, Varuna, Agni, and so on. These efforts may help one achieve the favor of Lord Vasudeva only when the sadhaka has also pleased the Lord's devotees. And by satisfying the devotees, one can win the mercy of the Supreme Lord even if one has not performed any of these purifying acts.
Thank you. So, thank you so much. What's your name? Vamsi. Hare Krishna, Vamsi. Thank you so much. So, yeah, you can see that it's. So now, so let me ask you a question. What does this mean? Literally, what is by bathing in the dust? You might have this question, right? Or at least I have this question. What is this meaning of the bathing in the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees? You just you take the lotus feet of devotees and what is this bathing in the dust of lotus feet? What do you think? Or anyone has any? Yeah, Kennedy Mataji.
While I've seen people quite literally put their hands into the shoes of some devotees and then put it on their head, I'd like to think that this ends up meaning being subservient to them and truly bowing at their feet, worshiping their feet in a similar way that we do the Guru. And just because if we want to please Krishna, we're supposed to go through other people. And since devotees won't take service from Krishna, he relies on us to serve each other, and that's what pleases him.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very nice point you brought. It's also literally meaning sometimes even people touch the feet of the great souls and the shoes and everything. They take the dust from the shoes and put on oneself. And also the other meaning and the main meaning is actually to take the instructions from the devotees or follow their instructions and take that as our life and soul. And so now we will we have little less time. So actually this is very beautiful purport. It goes into the pages of pages, around 7-8 pages, and it brings all the great verses from the Bhagavatams and mainly from Bhagavatam, which glorify the association of devotees. So, but I'll take some discussion at this point, and especially that 2 or 3 questions. First question I asked, and then I was asking, what is this meaning of taking the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees? And then yes, takes literally, but also the instructions, and that's what we see in the Prabhupada writes in the second canto, chapter 9, verse number 34, where he says about the verse yat tad vidyad atmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tama. So his Chatusloki Bhagavatam, in the last paragraph of his purport, he writes that how the instruction of the instructions of the Supreme Godhead is his internal energy, and when we follow that internal energy, we can see Lord face to face. That the instructions that is coming from the Krishna and his devotees, basically they are his internal energy, and when we follow that we can see Lord face to face. We are coming here, we are seeing Radha Madan Mohan face to face, right? He's just there in the form of deity. Similarly, when we follow the instructions that is passed down, and Is it difficult to find the instructions of Krishna? Where we can find the instructions of Krishna or his devotees? Where we can find? Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, Mayank Prabhu. He's a scholar of Bhagavad Gita, so that is the first book comes in his mind because he's been absorbed his whole existence in Bhagavad. That's perfect book. Bhagavad Gita is the full of the instruction of Lord Sri Krishna. And if you want to just learn, the one book is Bhagavad Gita, is sense of all the Vedic literature, and we can just read from Bhagavad Gita. There are a lot of instructions that Krishna says. Good. And where else? Bhagavatam, yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam is about the devotees of Lord Krishna. So when we study their life, when we see that what they are, how they live their life, so we can get also a practical instructions that, okay, I think many of us has jobs, many of us has to take care of family, many of us kids, many of us like all the different duties. But still after doing all these duties, how we can focus ourselves in being a spiritual person or focus ourselves, because that is one of the major things people say that I had to do so many things. I had no time for the spiritual life, right? And that's what Bhagavatam says, that you are talking about you are busy, but what? He is like a greatest king of the, but he or anyone, like it takes from the examples of different stories of Bhagavatam and says that it's not time, place, like it's not can be stopped by any circumstances. The bhakti is like without any circumstances. Any circumstance you can perform bhakti. Like some of the example it says about the Gajendra who was in the body of an elephant, but he worshipped God. He sent the beautiful prayers to the God. Prahlad Maharaj, whose father was the greatest demon of the whole world. It's not like like some simple person. He's like totally opposite to the gods and his principle. But he was the greatest devotee who born in such a great demonic family. But he had that attraction that he wanted to worship God, and he very fearlessly did that. And it also tells the very like Vrittasur, who was actually a king Chitraketu in his previous life. But somehow he gets, by the curse of Mother Parvati, he has to get the body of a Chitraketu, and now he has to do as a duty to fight against the demigods, Indra. But he's doing his duty so perfectly because he knows that by doing this duty, he's getting to his right claim. So it's just Bhagavatam is so amazing that you can understand, and we are all go through in our life in different situations, all these situations in different forms. That we all go through in different form of all these situations, but when see from the lens of Bhagavatam how these great devotees lead their life, actually that helps us to also move forward in our life. That okay, it's normal, it's not some abnormal things. It happens. This is a material world, and what else you can expect from this material world? So the instructions of the spiritual master, and that's what we see Prabhupada's life. How many times do you think Prabhupada met with his spiritual master? Not like in single digit, it's not even double digit he met with his spiritual master. Really, literally. And for how long? Very less short period of time. Like the first instruction when he made in 1922 in the Ulta Danga in the Kolkata, he just bowed down and his spiritual master says, why not you spread this knowledge into the English language? And the second time in the Radha Kund, and it was just few meetings, but he took that instruction, and second instruction he gave, whenever you get money, print books. It's just some like moment of association, but then he got that, everything just in that moment of association. Like few meetings with Prabhupada, with his spiritual master. So there are different kind of association we takes. So that brings to me other question. What are the different kind of association one take? So what are the different kind of association? One is definitely a Vapu association, like a physical form. When, like that's what one verse was telling, right? Even a spontaneous dialogue, or even just being near proximity of the great soul can give us that spiritual boost. Definitely, the Vapu association is the great this. But there's another one that is called Vani association, or the sound association, or hearing from the teachers, and that is even more important. Again, which is important is little, you can say is more important, but also that doesn't mean that other are not important. is everything has their own importance, but Vani is something that we can always carry forward in our life. The instruction that a spiritual master or teacher has given us, we can always carry forward in our life, and we can try to meditate and see how can I follow. And that's what Prabhupada used to say. Like once there is a story happens that there is a in Mayapur, when you go, there is a samadhi of his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And when you go to the main temple, Mayapur, the ISKCON Chandrodaya temple, so it comes on the way. And because of some conflict with other organization, Prabhupada didn't stop and didn't ask his driver to stop on the way to that and offer obeisances. And then later some of his disciple was thinking, and maybe they brought it to Prabhupada, that how it is possible that you didn't stop to your Prabhupada's in your spiritual master samadhi. His samadhi is the sense like where he is after when they leave the world, they actually preserve the actual form in the form of samadhi. So Prabhupada, as soon as someone told, he very sternly told that I am not separated from my spiritual master from an inch. Like he's always there in my heart in instructions. And his mood was that, okay, maybe physically I might not go because of various reasons, but in his heart, he was always thinking about spiritual master, how to fulfill his desire, how to fulfill his mission, and how to share this knowledge, especially like when he's told to come to this Western world and share this knowledge in English language and print books. These are the two instructions that he got. So he's always constantly thinking about in his whole life. And there's another pastime comes from the Prabhupada life, when in 1959, when he took the sannyas. He took the sannyas in 1959, and it was the place Mathura, where all the Brajvasis and simple Bengalis were there. But then his teacher asked him that, can you give the sannyas talk? Like generally it's happened that whoever is giving sannyas, he gives the talk, but he asked Prabhupada that you give the talk on sannyas. And then you know what language did he give the talk? He gave the talk in English. Out of like they're all simple brahmachari, simple Brajvasis, English people are. So he gave the talk because in his mind is always been constantly drawn that what his spiritual master wants. He's always thinking, constantly meditating in his and his spiritual master also has so much faith on his and he given the instruction to all his top leaders that whatever Abhay Babu or Abhay Charana Ravind, his name before name, writes, publish it immediately, because he understood that he has understood my heart. And there are so many Vyas Puja offerings, prayers, and in sort of time we don't have, but that is one thing. Vapi, I told two things, Vapu, and then is a Vani, and then also when we associate, when we take the mission of our life to serve the spiritual master, and like taking part oneself in the service of a spiritual master, that is also association of the great soul when we take part in their mission. And one thing. There's one also some great soul told that one thing also we can serve by not disturbing them or not being a headache for them. Also that's another way we can serve. Sometimes we become much more but that doesn't mean that when we are genuinely going through some tough time in our life and we don't take shelter. No, that doesn't mean that we don't take shelter when we are going genuinely, but it's just for, like it says, for some time it's just for other reasons when we try to disturb. So that was some of my wanted. Actually, we can go a lot in this association, but this is something that I wanted to share. I'd like to open for a few minutes before grand finale, because it's a new year. We just started our first Saturday class. I wanted to play some video from His Grace Vaishika Prabhu about the new year, so that we can all take some message. Definitely one of this my intention was to bring that how we can, these 5 things that we discussed today, how we can keep in the forefront. And other than the chanting of the holy name, Bhagavatam reading, coming to the temple, the association of devotees, and visiting the holy dhams, how we can keep in the center. And then so that definitely we can take something. If anyone want to share something. One video I shared with you on the WhatsApp. To WhatsApp, your WhatsApp. Yes. So whenever possible, you can put that video till the time we will take some reflections from the class. Okay, we have some online. Tadi Seva Prabhu, if you like to say something.
Prabhu, one of the things I want to share is that, the WAPO association, if you have some genuine service to do, you can approach your spiritual master and then you can ask him what service we can do for him. But sometimes I feel that sometimes some devotees just want to, um, I just feel like that. Sometimes they just go to spiritual master to get his attention
Yeah,
for, simple reasons. And I
exactly.
think, I just like to get noticed by spiritual master constantly. I think that is not the right way. You should associate with your spiritual master either to do service or or maybe the service may be small or the service may be big. Only for the sake of doing some service, one should approach spiritual master rather than going to him to seek his attention, just to be in his eyes.
Great, thank you so much. And that's why I was telling the fourth form. I was a little hesitant to tell, but that is also one service can be. Thank you, Tadi Seva Prabhu. Yes, Hare Krishna. Yes, Rohini Dulal Prabhu.
Thank you so much for the nice discussion, Prabhuji. So, when I saw that Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam verse, I thought there may be a typo. So, how come that is like that? You said that there are 3 verses which are similar to the same verse. So, I'm recollecting this first canto was
Yeah,
Tulaya
19th chapter.
Malave Napi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavad Sanghi Sangasya Madhyanam Kimutashishaha. So, this measures with respect, in a physical domain it measures. The verse in the purport it measures in the time domain. It's like how much time we can spend and what is the value of it. But in this verse it talks about if you take a tula, means balance, and keep a little bit of association with a saintly person on one side, on the other side you keep Swarga, the benefits of Swarga.
Whole Bay Area, whole Silicon Valley.
And
all the latest gadgets.
it also talks about Na Punarbhavam, the liberation also. So it doesn't
Wow.
balance.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so nice. Thank you, Rohini Dulal Prabhu. Yeah. Anyone else like to say? Yes, Adinath Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the discourse. A lot of nectar. A few highlights is you started off with the 5 limbs of bhakti and a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, how even a slight performance of one or some of them awakens pure love for Krishna or God. And how we do that is through the contact or association with the saintly person, with the devotee Vaishnava. And at the result is nisanga, to become free. And 2 of the symptoms is 1, freedom from material attachment, and then being uplifted to pure love of God. Those 2 things, and it starts with the shraddha. You said faith, and that's actually the real benediction. And then you quoted Lord Shiva's prayer, how he said that the association, that this is actually the highest benediction. And then you clarified nicely what taking the dust of the pure devotee is to take their instructions very seriously and make them one's life and soul. And when we do that, Lord Hari or Krishna, he absolves one's hellish conditions and then also purifies the heart of material desires. And so that's what it means. So these are some of the highlights from the class.
Jaya, thank you
Prabhu.
for perfectly summarizing. It's great. Anyone else? We are ready with video, bro? Ready? Yeah, so we can go for that. This video, this is the one of my all-time favorite video that I like to see every year to keep some focus. And I hope all of you also like this. Yeah, we can play.
This is not the all in all. It is a probationary period in which we have the opportunity to improve ourselves. And because Krishna is very merciful, even if we are depressed, that is, even if we're held back by our previous samskars, which may be severe, if we sincerely try to connect to the process of Krishna consciousness and take up what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, even if we can't do it completely, that goes to our credit. That goes to our credit. And it's good enough. Krishna will help us in every imaginable way. There are practical things that we can do by taking time to look at how we organize our lives. One exercise that I started recently, which really has me enlivened. This is printed on a small piece of paper, but on my wall at home, in the room where I spend most of my time, I have those very large Post-it notes that you can paste against the wall. And I use them all the time now because I find that whatever is visible to me, I continually process. In fact, one of them is at the foot of my bed, and as soon as I open my eyes and look up, I can see many interesting prospects, and my mind immediately starts to work towards them. I began listing categories of things, just categories of things that I would like to do every day in order to live a complete life in Krishna consciousness. And I have a list of them right here. Should I read it? Yes. Dare I read it in public? Okay. I'm making myself very vulnerable here. So number one is to chant. Take time to chant. I wrote it down. It's deliberate. I decided I'm going to take time to chant because just by chanting, not doing anything else, the mind always wants to add something else and say, you got to do something else besides this. This is too easy. It's not so easy to sit and just chant. But all the Shastras tell us this is the best way to purify the heart, to come in contact with Krishna, to attain all good qualities. And therefore, I put this as a category unto itself, chant. Give myself permission to chant every day with attention. Next is to read. I got the personal instruction from Srila Prabhupada, you must also read my books. That's what he said. When we came to meet him in his room in San Francisco, and we were introduced as a Sankirtan party, and that such and such was distributing so many books, so and so is doing this many books, and Prabhupada looked at us and he said, you must also read my books. And then he went on for some time explaining how he had written these specifically for us to read, to become purified, and go back to Godhead. And it really impressed me. And the books also brought me to Krishna consciousness. They reached out to me. They appeared at my door magically, where I was in an obscure place on the planet. And one of them was carried in by a friend of mine from high school. So I took it as divine intervention. And all the instructions say read the books. So I've developed a process called VSH, page by page, which gives me a target goal every day to read a certain number of pages. And I give myself time and the space to sit down and read those pages, no matter where I am, no matter what place I am, to finish my daily pages. And that makes a big difference in my life. Another aspect is Chad, which is chapter a day, which is to chant at least one chapter of Bhagavad Gita a day, just the Sanskrit or the English, but at least one chapter. The next is to study. A study is a little different than reading. Reading means you can just sit there and just associate. I feel like I'm directly associating with Prabhupada. In fact, you get more association with Prabhupada reading his books than you ever would have being on the planet at the same time he was here. Practically nobody got association with Prabhupada directly. There was only a few. And many of them made offenses. Because it's easy to do. When you come close, familiarity breeds contempt. And Prabhupada said over and over again, if you read my books, I've said everything in my books. And how did he say it? From his heart. He said these are emotional, devotional ecstasies coming out. And if you sit and just associate with Prabhupada through reading, you'll have his association. Your intelligence will become clarified. But study means that you sit down and figure out how things are connected in the Shastra. You find one thing and said, oh, this goes with that, and this goes with this. And you drill down and you look at the Nectar of Devotion and you look at the other books and you see how they're all interrelated and how they have commentaries which complement each other and so forth. Study deeply. Another is to worship. Worship is so special. We have to take time to worship every day. Now, this may sound like the day's over already, but each one of these points you can at least do a little bit of time. At least take 5 minutes. If you start even with 1 minute for each of these categories, then you'll have a balanced, full life in Krishna consciousness. So worship means you have to offer something to Krishna. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomi bhaktya prayachati taraham bhakti paritam ashnami paritapmanaha. What kind of verse is this? Where else on the planet, in the universe, can you find a verse like this? Where Krishna, and who is Krishna? He's the Supreme Personality of God, and it says, just give me a leaf or a flower and I'll take it from you if you give it with love. That is the verse to connect to. That's the worship verse. Or, manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishasti yuktvaivam atmanam parayanaha. Krishna says, you can worship me, bow down to me. How good does that feel when the world's moving against you and you can barely keep your feet moving because things are coming at you so fast, and you have a place to bow down before the Panchatattva, before the image of Krishna. It's very powerful. So worship, take time every day to worship, and if you can regulate your worship so every day you have this opportunity to offer Krishna a flower, a lamp, then you have this special, intimate time with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pray. Say some prayer. I've built it into, at least I say one prayer a day, besides the Maha Mantra, and that is before I take rest at night. I always say the last mantra from the Sri Upanishad. Oh, my Lord is powerful as fire, omnipotent one. Now I offer you all obeisances falling on the ground at your feet. Please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all I've done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins so there'll be no hindrance to my progress. I found that verse when I first got to Sri Upanishad, before I'd come to Krishna consciousness, and I grabbed onto it. I said, this is my verse. I'll just hold on to this verse. So pray. It's a prayer, and there's lots of prayers in the Shastra that you can take shelter of. Another activity is write. Every day write something. Write down what your realizations are. It helps to consolidate them. And again, Prabhupada emphasized this. Another is to practice. Practice something every day. Because the miracle of the human experience is that you can get better at anything. Someone was telling me the other day, I was at the dentist, and he was saying, hey, you know what? If you're right-handed and you learn to write with your left hand, you won't get Alzheimer's. And I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know when I broke my right arm many years ago, and I had a big cast on my arm, I started writing with my left hand, and at first no one could read it, but after a couple of weeks I said, that's pretty good. You're in, you know. and I've noticed that if you take time every day to do some kind of practice, especially with the hand-mind coordination, learn some coordination exercise, practice something over and over again so you can have the experience of doing the discipline so that you get better at something. It encourages you in all parts of your life. And there are many devotional things that you can practice, like music. Memorize. Take time to memorize something in Krishna consciousness, whether it's one line in English or a shloka in Sanskrit, but memorize it. And how do you do that? Well, there's lots of information on my website. There's a whole section about how to memorize things. And if you just learn how to memorize, it's a nice meditation. Another is to communicate. Take time to communicate with others. And write back, call back, take some time during the day to do that. Another is to think. How often do you get a chance during the day to think? Honestly, you can go 20 years without thinking. You can also go 20 years without communicating. Some spouses live together and they don't talk. They just go back and forth. They never have a meaningful conversation for 20, 30 years. Some people don't talk to their kids. Really talk to them. Take time to communicate. Take time to think. It's one of the most important things that we do. Lord Brahma at the beginning of the universe, that's what he did. He sat down and let me think this over. how to figure out who I am, where I came from. And if you take time to think, it's amazing what comes out. And one of the ways you can do it is get a legal pad from your local Office Depot and a pen, like the one I have right here, and just sit down, close all the doors, shut off everything else, and sit there with your pad and just put a question to your mind and just say, what's important to you? What do you want to do with your life? Think about it for 5 minutes or better, an hour, and you will be amazed how your life will change if you just take time to think. We don't get time to think. We're tortured in this world because we're pushed along, and we don't get the opportunity to really think about who we are, what we are, and where we're going. So think. The next is to meet. You have to meet with people. Get together with them one-on-one. Take the time to see them, actually connect with them, because magical things come from meeting. Another is to plan. There's a saying Ogmandino gave many years ago, I picked up from one of his books that I really like, which is never greet the dawn without a map. And all high productivity experts will say, if you take time to plan before you act, you'll save yourself hours, weeks, months, years by this planning process. Plan. Another is to organize. A mantra that goes with organizing is a place for everything and everything in its place. And that's a constant endeavor to do that. But it's worth taking time every day to say, how can I be more organized? Where can I put everything? How can I put everything in its place, or find a place for everything that I have? Next is to monitor, and that's to check your progress. How are you doing with all the things that you're doing in your life? And the next is to exercise. The body is a very complex machine. And all the studies in the world nowadays show that you have to exercise to make it work right. You can't just sit around and expect to be healthy the rest of your life. You have to get out and walk. You have to get out and move your arms and make the machine go. Otherwise, it'll fall apart prematurely, and you'll be really sorry about that. And so will we. The next is to eat healthy. Eat healthy. Be careful what you eat, because your diet is really important. You are what you eat. And if you're careful about your diet, then you'll be right in your mind and also in your body. Next is take time to play. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates used to go down to the bathing ghat, and they would fight. They would ride on each other's shoulders, even the great scholars. And they would splash water at each other, and they would yell, and they would call each other ill names, and they had fun. You got to have fun in life. And take time to do that. Go for a hike with your friend. Go out to see the sunset. Do something, but get out and have some fun. And the next one is to laugh. You got to take time to laugh. Krishna used to laugh at a lot of things. He made all kinds of jokes with his friends. Prabhupada used to laugh and joke. So take the lighter side. Not all the time, but sometimes at appropriate times. Learn to laugh. Another is to contribute. When you're planning how to contribute to others, how to give, then your mind feels satisfied. That's one of the ways to get satisfaction in life, is to contribute and think how you can contribute. And consult with mentors. I talked about this before, about you should collect mentors. You should consult your mentors, because the world's too complex to figure out all by ourselves. We need mentors. We need lots of them. So figure out who are your top mentors and keep in touch with them. Keep an open line so that they can help guide you through all the different tribulations of life and the jubilations. And then finally, invest in relationships. It's very important. I heard today from several of the presentations, especially Shraddha's, she was talking about how important it is to invest in people, in your relationship with them, your friendships, and so forth. If you take time for them, then your life will become very rewarding. And charity starts at home. You have to invest in the relationships that you already have close at hand, the relationships you have with the devotees. There's a concept Stephen Covey gives about the emotional bank account. Did you know that you have a bank account in your heart? Everyone does. And you can make a deposit in the bank account that people carry in their hearts emotionally. You can go out of your way for them to make a deposit. And what happens if you keep depositing? What do you get? You get interest too, eh? That's pretty good. Invest over here. It's a good one to invest in. You get interest, you get a surplus, you begin to build up a nice balance. And compounded interest, it's very powerful. This is what strong relationships are about, investment. And if you have to make a withdrawal, has anybody had this experience? You ever had to make a withdrawal in a relationship? Yes? So don't get overdrawn. If you haven't made a contribution in a long time, don't think about taking a draw from the bank, because it will damage the relationship. You'll have penalties to pay. But if you continually are giving, in the inevitable time when you have to take something back, or you mistakenly say something that is inappropriate in your relationship, then you can withstand that because you have a sufficient balance. These are, in summary, ways in which I stay focused on what's important to me, what goes in my resume, and looking at in other ways, my life and what I do and what I would like not to do. And there's another section on here called Bad Habits, and I'm not reading them to you. I'm not that vulnerable. There are ways in which it's hard even to admit to myself that I have these. It's hard to write them. It's like, oh, that and this and that. And then what if this list gets out somehow? It's embarrassing. But actually, it's important to fix your resume. What is it that you want to fix? What is it you want to add to your life? Take time to figure it out and create a masterpiece resume for your life. And give yourself to this process of Krishna consciousness especially. Last points about what's very important to Krishna are given by Srila Prabhupada in one of his purports, where he describes Daksha's prayers and the Lord answering them. And he says, does Srila Prabhupada, and here's the formula, FTIG. He gives these 4 action verbs for things that you can do that make you very dear to Krishna. You ready? Follow the previous acharyas. Try to benefit conditioned souls. Induce the conditioned souls to become Krishna conscious, and give them all facilities to become Krishna consciousness. Follow, try, induce, and give. These all relate to the process that you've been engaged in over the weekend, those of you here for the seminar, which is the active process of organizing around the principle of giving mercy to others and showing compassion. And that's the best thing that you can put on your resume. As Krishna says at the end of the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, no one is more dear to me than the person that invests in this. So I congratulate all of you for taking your time this weekend to learn about Sankirtan, about book distribution, and we've gained so much by having you here. We deeply appreciate you coming all this way. It's really touched our hearts. We feel more connected to you now, and we look forward to working together in North America to increase the Sankirtan and book distribution to the level that will be acceptable, which is much, much bigger than it is now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So, thank you to Maharaj to give us, and does anyone know how many categories? Yeah, close. 23. So 23 categories to think about and but as something that we can, is a new year, so I thought to bring is a new year to think, and then something that we can integrate in our life. Again, it may look like our day is already over by 1-2 item only, and reaching 23 might be, but again, we can always put it into the whole year, that sometime we do this. And that's what the association of the today's verse we are discussing, how association of the great souls, and that's what when we associate, then we try to follow in their footsteps, like how to do the best use of our life in this human form. And thank you so much once again to every one of you to giving your rapt attention, and to me, I'm so happy that I could be in all of your association this morning, Saturday. And beginning this Saturday, first Saturday of the year in your association, and let's try to be more being with each other's association. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So now thank you. The next part is sorry, I got delayed. We have a very, very fantastic presentation coming from our Kashora kids. Is that correct? Oh, okay, perfect. So I am so sorry, Mataji, to keep you hold on waiting. But yeah, now the actual program happening is starting now, and we'll hear more from Her Grace Raseswarila Mataji, who is the fantastic and the world-class teacher of our young youths in this ISV Vedic Academy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Actually, it was my joy. I was just carried away looking at, Maharaj speaking and this wonderful lecture that you actually brought back the memories of. And thank you so much for helping us begin the new year in this way, and help us to organize, because always when we start a new year, we're like suddenly overwhelmed what to do. How do I improve? And so this is actually a fantastic foundation for us. So thank you so much. And also seeking your blessings, we have today's speaker, Vedant. He will be speaking. And I also want to mention that actually the Kaishara students are teaching me. I am not teaching them. They are my teachers. They are so selfless and sincere, and so wonderful to be part of their upbringing. So with that, I'll let Vedant take over. He will be talking about a wonderful topic. It's what does selfless and seamless devotion mean? And Vedant, as we know, is very very much involved, always in the kitchen or serving department, and in any services that you see around the temple, cleaning. So thank you so much, Vedant, for your inspirational service attitude, and look forward to hearing from you.
Hare Krishna, my name is Vedant, and today I'll be presenting on what does selfless and seamless devotion mean. So in life, everything requires focus and determination, and if one has these things, they can easily achieve success. But if one's motives are impure and they're distracted, then they will not be able to achieve these things very easily. Focus, determination, and purity of one's heart are the most important things to achieve seamless and selfless devotion. So a perfect verse that goes with what I just said is in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6, and it says, Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktir adoksaje ahaituki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. And it says, the supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain the loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So this verse is saying that one needs a haitaki and apratihata in their devotional service or practice. So a haitaki means having no selfish agendas behind one spiritual service or practice, while apratihata means having no distractions while doing one service or practice. By doing this, one can achieve selfless and seamless devotion. Obstacles and spiritual seekers. So in this material world, many of our objectives and our devotions are stopped by various types of material obstacles. But spiritual seekers do not let these obstacles stop them, and instead, when reversals come, spiritual seekers strive to remain focused and derive inspiration from exemplary devotees. A great way we can look at some of these things is from the story of Lord Prahlad Maharaj. In the story of Lord Prahlad Maharaj, we learned many ways on how we can achieve selfless and seamless devotion, and the first one being a bhakti transmitter and a receiver. So just how in this material world we have transmitters that are potent to a signal and receivers who are perfectly tuned to receive that signal, similarly in a bhakti transmitter from the guru to the devotee is perfectly tuned to the guru, and the guru gives the perfect response to the devotee who is thirsty for knowledge. In this takes place the transmission of bhakti very effectively. Similarly, in the story of Prahlad Maharaj, even though Prahlad was just in the womb of his mother with underdeveloped senses, this was no barrier for him. He was still able to receive the knowledge from Narada Muni because of his thirst for bhakti. Fearlessness and humility. Facing a fierce demon and opposing it is something very difficult for an ordinary person. A tender child usually fears chastisement and is afraid of punishment from a strict elder. But Prahlad Maharaj, just being a small child, was able to oppose the demonic teachings of his teachers and his father Hiranyakashipu, while at the same time being respectful and humble towards them. In this material world, when we are explaining ourselves or proving ourselves, we should do so with humility and fearlessness. Sorry. The words aren't coming up on the slide, but I can say them. Accomplished but not arrogant. When Prahlad Maharaj was chosen to pacify Lord Narasimha with his prayers, when all the other lords and devatas could not do so, he did not think himself superior to others, but instead thought himself extremely low. He did his job to the best of his ability. Similarly, in this material world, when we are doing our service for the Lord, we should not think ourselves higher than others, but instead think ourselves extremely low, and believe that we are extremely low even if we are exemplary devotees. Age, caste, and company are no bar. Even though Prahlad Maharaj was the son of an envious demon, he did not have the demonic tendencies of his father. He was not attached to his father's property or influence. Instead, his love for Lord Vishnu was all that mattered to him. Similarly, in this material world, even if we are surrounded by non-devotional vibrations, if our mind is focused on devotion and our love for God, these distractions will not hamper our success. Lastly, devotion, having seamless and selfless devotion and doing devotional service is not a business transaction. After Prahlad Maharaj had said his prayers to Lord Narasimha and had pacified him, Lord Narasimha was very pleased and asked Prahlad Maharaj for any benediction that he wanted. Prahlad Maharaj, although having this opportunity, rejected it, thinking that it would be a hamper in his advancement of Bhakti Yoga, and instead asked Lord Narasimha not to tempt him with these things. He did not want to trade his spiritual service in return for material benefit. Similarly, in this material world, we should not do our service unto God for in return having material benefits, but we should do it for the purity of our heart and our love for Lord Krishna. A candle and a 2000-watt light bulb. Both a candle and a 2000-watt light bulb can illuminate a room, but a candle can only illuminate a corner of a room, while a light bulb can illuminate the entire room. Similarly, if one's bhakti is weak and wavering like a dim candle, they will not be able to experience the full bliss of bhakti. While if one's bhakti is as strong as a 2000-watt light bulb, they will be able to experience the full bliss of bhakti. To conclude, one should be humble, determined, focused, while at the same time having thirst for knowledge. Let us take inspiration from the character of little Prahlad and take our baby steps in our advancement of spiritual devotion. Haribol, and thank you for listening to my presentation. And I can take questions now if anybody has questions.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to say you handled the slide not working flawlessly, and then you filled the gaps with your knowledge effortlessly. And everything that you said was so pertinent. I especially loved the story of Prahlad Maharaj being accomplished and not arrogant, being fearless and humble so you can be a receiver. And yet there's so much joy that comes from it and love that comes from it, especially since you'd mentioned that bhakti is not transactional. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vedant. I concur with Kennedy, what she said about how you flawlessly handled these slides. One point that you made was really good, that Prahlad Maharaj didn't treat this as a business when when Narasimha asked him. So I think that's a really good thing for us to carry on. We should not consider this as a business, thinking, oh, Krishna, I'm doing this service for you, so I hope you take care of me. I think that's a very good point. Thank you.
Haribol, thank you.
I really could associate with your last presentation, the candle and the 2000-watt bulb. For a lot of us beginners, it's like a candle, and then it flickers, it goes. We should strive towards letting it go towards the 2000-watt bulb. And I think consistency, discipline, and that Shraddha, Bhakti, Rati, all of those are very much needed for converting our candle to the 2000-watt bulb.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Vedant. That was excellent presentation. I liked your presentation style, and of course, the realization that comes when you actually yourself also demonstrate this in your actions, the determination and the humility that you have. So very proud of you for your efforts, and thank you so much for your presentation. With that, I guess we can start for the next part of the program, which is Guru Puja. So I'll hand it over. Please, all of you can stand up and prepare for the Guru Puja.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukharavinda Prabhu. Please take over.
Hare Krishna. Yes, ma'am. Is there Sankirtan announcement and the Bhakti community announcement? Then, okay. Hare Krishna. So all of you can kindly keep your attention toward our Jumbotron, and we'll sing some prayers. These prayers are specifically glorifying the teachers and the disciplic succession. So if we can all chant together once you are there. Nam Shreshtam Manumapi Sachiputram Atra Swarupam Shri Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Mathurim Ghoshtvaatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Aho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurum Tam Natosmi. He Guru Jnanadadina Bandho Swanandadata Karuneka Sindho Vrindavanasina Hitavatara Prasida Radha Pranay Prachara. He Dina Bandho Karuneka Sindho Kuru Prasadam Mai Mandamudhe Lakshaparadhe Bahupapagade Tadapad Padme Stumatisha Krishne Nevopayantya Pachatim Kavayastavesha Brahma Yusapi Kritam Riddha Muda Smaranta Yontar Bahistanubhritam Subham Vidhunvan Acharya Chaitya Vapusa Swagatim Vyanakti. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Sachi Mata, the association of Srila Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami and his older brother Sanatan Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radha Kund and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhav in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you had descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriads of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy, so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma, for you appear in two features, externally as an acharyas and internally as the super soul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From him, static prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. And we take shelter of your lotus feet. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sarma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sarma. Vando Moi Savadhana Bhate. Vando Moi Savadhana Bhate. Vando Moi Savadhana Bhate. Moi Jahara prasade bhav he bhavato riyaja. Jahara prasade bhav he bhavato riyaja. Krishna prapti hoy jahan hoite. 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 Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Koriya Kya. 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 Arna Kori Ho Mane Asa. Arna Kori Ho Mane Asa. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Je prasade pure sarva asa. Je prasade pure sarva asa. गाय जहाँ रचरे को गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोके राजीवाना प्रभु करो दया देव मोरे पर छाया हाँ प्रभु करो दया देव मोरे पद छाया जस घोष त्रिभुवाना घोष त्रिभुवाना 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 जय प्रभुपदा 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 ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Vijamani Gauramani Jage Udilo Aruna Purabhavagi Vijamani Gauramani Jage. So we'll sing a beautiful song. This is like Arunodaya Kirtan is when the sun is rising and then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all his associates is going out in the town, and this verse describes that beautiful scene, and we can meditate and go to that so let's Udilo Aruna Purabhavagi Vijamani Gauramani Jage Udilo Aruna Purabhavagi Vijamani Gauramani Jage Bhakata Samuha Loya Sathe Gila Nagar Braje Bhakata Samuha Loya Sathe Gila Nagar Braje Tathai Bhajalo Khol Ghana Ghana Tahe Jhanjiraro Tathai Bhajalo Khol Ghana Ghana Tahe Jhanjiraro Preme Dhala Dhala Sonar Anga Charanenu Purabaje Preme Dhala Dhala Sonar Anga Charanenu Purabaje Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bole na bolo re vadana bhori Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bole na bolo re vadana bhori Niche nidavase gelo re rati Divasa sarira saje Niche nidavase gelo re rati Divasa sarira saje Hemena dulabha manava deho Paya ki koro bhavana ke ho Hemena dulabha manava deho Paya ki koro bhavana ke ho Devena bhajile yasoda suta Charame podi dela দিনা গেল বলি হইবে ব্যস্ত উদিতা হইবে ব্যস্ত দিনা গেল বলি হইবে তবে কেন এবে আলস হই না ভজ হে দয়া রাজে কেন এবে আলস হই না ভজ जीवन नित्य जन सार ताहे नाना विध विपद भार जीवन नाम श्रया करी जतने तुम्ही भगवान काले विवेर कल्याण साधन जगते आसी माधुर्य नाम विवेर कल्याण अविद्यति मेरा तपन रूपे हृदय गगन विराजे नाम सुधा कोरिया पान जुड़ाओ भक्ति विनोद प्राण नाम सुधा कोरिया पान नाम बिना किछु नहीं कुआरो चौदह भुवन माझे नाम बिना किछु नहीं कुआरो चौदह भुवन माझे नाम बिना किछु नहीं कुआरो चौदह भुवन माझे जागो गौर चंद बोले जागो गौर चंद बोले निद्रा जाओ माया पिता तेरा कोले निद्रा जाओ wake up sleeping soul wake up sleeping soul जीवो बोलिया ऐसे संसार भीतरे जीवो बोलिया ऐसे संसार भीतरे भूलिया रोहिले तुम्हें अविद्यार भरे भूलिया रोहिले तुम्हें अविद्यार भरे তোমারে লইতে আমি হইনু অবতারা তোমারে লইতে আমি হইনু অবতারা আমি বিনা বন্ধুয়ারা কে আছে তোমারা আমি বিনা বন্ধুয়ারা चरणे पड़िया Jaya Radha Madhava, Madan Mohan Jaya Mahaprabhu, 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 Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajakaacharya Stotar Sat His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedant Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajakaacharya Stotar Sat His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Syama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Brajbhum Vrindavan Dham Ki Navdeep Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Prabhupada Marathon Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Bol Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome all of you to our this year's first Saturday morning program here in ISKCON of Silicon Valley. And thank you for coming and giving your association. So that's a round of applause to everyone here. And also to all of those who join us online and giving us remote association. We are also thankful to them. So the next part of our, we have some announcements, and I believe if we have some representative of Bhakti community here, okay. So we have Bhaktin Kennedy here. So so we'll like to, Bhakti community is doing groundbreaking and is spreading all over the world his franchise is to share the Bhakti wisdom. And especially like today's, we were discussing about association, the topic, and I was just thinking that how this community is so important to give that association, not to limit to just a small sangha of devotees here, but to expand it to all over the Bay Area. And why to just Bay Area, all over the world? And why all over the world? We can go to other planets also, who knows, Krishna willing. So today we had Director JP Prabhu, Jaya Madhava Prabhu and Pavani Bhakti Mataji, and we are representative here, Bhaktin Kennedy, to represent the Bhakti community. So let's have a big round of applause to Kennedy to see what we have won. Is there mic here somewhere? I know I can be loud enough for this. Yes, we'll get a mic to you, Bhaktin Kennedy.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for such a warm introduction. Bhakti community is an online community for newcomers, seekers, people looking to get back into it, or people who just want some association. We're actually not just for English speakers either. We also have Comunidad de Bhakti. So we have an entire section of it run for Spanish speakers, which is a perfect tie to our Spanish Sankirtan as well. And with Bhakti community, we have Monday, Thursday, and Friday classes online. And then we have most Fridays, except with holidays, there's a mantra zone where you can come in. Pavani Mataji cooks, which is reason enough to go. And there's kirtan and philosophy and just really good company. And so if you're looking to have a bit more association with something that doesn't mean you have to leave your home or travel a bunch, we have bookmarks that have the schedule on them. I can also let you know what our social media handles are if you'd like. But please, if you have any questions, come see me or Vicky Mataji. And I'm from that community. I joined about a year ago, and that's how I got my start in Bhakti. And it has changed everything since. So if it's something that you're looking to get more into, but you don't want to dive completely in, if it's hard for you to always come out to the temple, this is a wonderful way to meet people, to have the philosophy, to delve into Srila Prabhupada's books and the teachings from the comfort of your own home. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bhaktin Kennedy. Let's have another big round of applause. Hari Bol! So the next part is the Sankirtan, and we have a worldwide, this is like last 3 months of the year, especially in this ISKCON of Silicon Valley. We are celebrating, it's called Prabhupada Marathon, or another word, Live to Give campaign, in which the global goal of our is to distribute at least 3.7 million Bhagavad Gita all over the world. So we are doing our parts, and this is the last week, if I understood correctly, for the Live to Give campaign. And maybe I'll ask Adinath Krishna Prabhu to represent the Sankirtan team today, and then let us know what we have won today. Hari Bol, Adinath Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all so much for joining, and thank you for the welcome, Mukharavinda Prabhu. We have several spots. We have Mountain View downtown, Santa Cruz downtown. If you want to go to Milpitas and Walmart, it's very lively there. We get a lot of mix of different material bodies there, and it's really good practice actually to adapt to all the different personalities. So if you're feeling inspired to want to do something like that, now is the time. And then we also have Berkeley, and then any other spot that you all think is favorable. So there are many ways we can actually join Sankirtan. It doesn't have to be a practical thing where, okay, maybe I don't have the courage right now to go out and actually distribute books for whatever reason. You can also pack books. You can also give locations as to where you think might be favorable. So all of you come from different places, so you have some idea of where's an active place, ideally with very little restrictions. The Hispanic community is really good for that. They're like, oh, come on in, you can have a drink and food and so many things. So the idea is that there are different ways in which we can practically offer some service, even though it's not on the front lines. And I'll read one quote by Srila Prabhupada on the importance of book distribution. Our founder Acharya and preeminent Shiksha Guru, one who gives instructions. Quote, our book distribution is the most important task in our society. Therefore, I am giving so much stress and I am working so hard on this because this is my life and soul, according to the order of my Guru Maharaj, and by his grace, it is to some extent successful. I took it seriously. I take it seriously now. This is my life and soul. I never tried in India to construct big temple, or even in your country we didn't. I never tried, but I was selling personally books. That is the history, end quote. So we can understand from this quote how important Srila Prabhupada emphasized book distribution. And again, if you're not on the front lines, you could do it indirectly. That's also good too. So if you're feeling inspired, you can contact me or any of the other Sankirtan devotees that specialize in this department. And like Vaisheshika Maharaj says, you can touch the pavement. And then everything else after that is simply extra. Generally speaking, we get started around noon. We go to our designated locations and they last probably till sunset, generally around 5 p.m. You can join even for a little bit of time. Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Adinath Krishna Prabhu. Let's have a big round of applause to Adinath Krishna Prabhu. He's our very determined leader. You can see Prabhu goes like almost, I think, every week or even weekend and also sometime on the week with his nice Bhakta Sangh like association, and he gives the mercy to one and all. Like today we were discussing about the association, so like one of the association we discussed about Bhakti community. Similarly, the another form of association is to give through the books. The books are the best form, as Maharaj was saying in the class, that how much time we can get the personal association of a great souls, very rarely. But the books are something that we can always, we can always constantly read, and we can get the best association because the author has put his best thought, his best personality in the books. So when we read the books, we actually directly get in touch with them through the form of the books. And our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada and his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the second in the picture, he actually used to call the temple of books. Like he got the one very big temple, and his intention was there to that having that temple is to have that so that it can be a source where it's a temple of books, where it's like a medium where more and books can be published and it distributed to the mass of the people so that this knowledge can be shared. And especially in this, as I was telling, Bhagavad Gita, we are involved. So any one of you want to get involved in any way, please connect with us. I'll be happy to. There are so many ways you can serve in the Sankirtan movement. And sorry, I forgot technology. Is there someone first time here in our congregation here? Hare Krishna, welcome. Vamsi? Srinath, okay. Shrikant, Hare Krishna, Shrikant, welcome. How did you came to know about our community? Maybe can someone give him mic?
It was my friend Vamsi who is back there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he comes here regularly.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm actually from Portland and I'm just visiting him. And he was like, yesterday night he told me that tomorrow morning I'm going to ISKCON, and I've been meaning to go to ISKCON for a very long time, and he was the medium and I'm here today.
Yeah,
with you
that's
guys.
what association. So let's see how the association matters. The live proof of association. Thank you, Vamsi and Srikant. So happy that you came and visited us here.
I mean, even when you were saying about that association, right? So, I mean, I was thinking exactly the same thing. So today morning I had a choice whether to sleep in or to come here. I just chose the association of you and not my bed.
Yeah, you got the Vamsi's association. So, so thank you. Thank you for coming, Srikant. Hare Krishna. So happy to have you here. And also, I don't know if you know that there's a big temple coming up in Portland.
Yeah.
They're constructing. So
I know, yeah.
Yeah, so you can be a big part of community there as well. And visit us whenever you like to.
Definitely, yeah.
Is your family, our family. So
yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone else? First time here? No, perfect. So the next part we have some I think exotic cooking going on. Seems in the kitchen. It was so difficult to. When I was sitting in the class, I was seeing the aroma coming from the kitchen, and it seems that there's some great cooks here today. Yes, I believe so. I saw Koladip Pran Prabhu. Definitely, he's the cook there today. And anyone else? Who is the other? Any other cooks? Syam Bhakta Prabhu. Yeah, we saw him also in the kitchen area. So let's acknowledge all our cooks. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Okay, so we had here we can have the darshan. Hari Bol.
I just want to acknowledge the cooks.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Hare Krishna. I just want to acknowledge the cooks who came today to help us in the kitchen. So you know that Shyam Bhakta Prabhu is a regular cook on Saturdays. And then Premnitai Prabhu, Dhira Prashant Prabhu, Bimal Mataji, and Shailen, Bhakta Shailen, they were all there in the kitchen and helped us. So please honor this prasadam and give us honest feedback so that we can improve in our future endeavors. Hare Krishna.
Jai, Hari Bol. So he is our Koladip Pran Prabhu. He is the main cook. He didn't tell his name, but I am just telling. And he is expert in everything. And you can today you can find out the details that I'll let in the taste to have you all. So so the next part is anyone has any other announcements remaining? Want to share anything? If not, then we will go for the prasadam prayer. So this is the prayers that we sing before honoring the prasadam. Prasadam is a mercy of the God, and this Madhi, can we go to the translation, please? The translation of this. Yes. Okay, I think so. It's not there. No worries. But I'll just paraphrase that. It says like this body avidya jal, like this is body is the network of all the ignorance, and the senses are the main thing that controls the whole our existence, right? And that's what he's saying that, and in that the most voracious sense or most dangerous sense is the tongue. And then we are here glorifying that Krishna, you have given us the prasadam by which we can control our tongue. So we are kind of, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given this beautiful song. So whenever we honor prasadam, we are thinking as a mercy of a Krishna that he has given us mercifully this, and then by which we can conquer our senses and do more service. So let's sing together. Sarira Vidya Jal Jodendriya Tahe Ka Jive Phele Visaya Sagore Tarma Devi Jivati Lobho Moy Sudurmati Taki Jeta Kathina Krishna bado doyamoy karibare jivajay swaprasadana dilo bhai seyanamrita pao Radha Krishna guna gao preme dako Sri Chaitanya Nitai Preme Dako Sri Chaitanya Nitai Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnavi Svalpa Punyavatam Rajan Visvasana Vajayate Prasade Sarva Dukhana Hanirasyopadayate Prasanna Chetaso Yasu Buddhi Paryavatishtate Tayopa Bhukta Sragandha Vasulankara Charchitaha Utkishta Bhojino Dasa Stavamayam Jai Mahi Shri Bhagavad Sri Mahaprasadam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol